What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and in this video, it is my first video in a while. I'm going to be recapping my trade from this morning. If you saw on my Twitter, you'd see that I caught like 32 points trading the NASDAQ this morning. So with that being said, I'm going to give a little top-down analysis, and then I am going to get into price today. So from a top-down analysis, we have bearish SMT on every single time frame. So like on the monthly, we have this bearish SMT right here. Wait, let me get into this. Whoops. So on the monthly, we have this bearish SMT right here. As you can see, ES clearly did not sweep this high right here. And on the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ clearly did sweep that high. So we have that bearish SMT, and then we also have bearish SMT on the weekly, right here, or where is it? Right here, right? ES did not sweep this candle's high, where on the NASDAQ it did. We also have daily SMT and then 4-hour SMT. So let me just explain today. So coming into this 4-hour setup this morning, here is what I saw. So I knew we had this bearish SMT on every single time frame. So initially, I was bearish, and I am bearish because, it doesn't make sense to fade a monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, whatever SMT. So I was bearish. Let me just draw out this SMT right here. So as you can see, NASDAQ did not sweep that high, whereas ES clearly did sweep that high. Okay, so that's some bearish SMT, but you'll notice one thing, right? We clearly respected this 4-hour fair value gap. Okay, clearly respected it, and we clearly disrespected this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. So with that being said, this should immediately tell you that today was not really a trading day. It is a no news Monday. There is CPI and PPI this week. So when everything is telling you that price should be bearish, but bullish PD rays are being respected, bearish PD rays are being disrespected, we have all that SMT, all that bearish SMT, that is a good indication not to trade. But 9:30 opened up. I was willing to put on this trade because I was bearish. I liked all this SMT, and I was willing to take on the risk, right? Everything in trading is about what you're willing to do, right? I'm willing to put on the risk for this trade. I feel comfortable doing it, right? All my funded accounts are nicely in profit. I have no problem doing this. And this trade, actually, I don't think I covered this. Just this trade netted me a total of 2,500. It was 550 on my 50K my funded future starter. And then it was 652 on 3 of my top step 150Ks. So in total, it was around like 2,500. But yeah, so with that being said, dropping down to the 15-minute for market open, I have this nice little indicator here. I'll share it with you right here. This indicator is great because it just shows you like session highs, session lows, what's been swept. It's right here. It's called ICT kill zones and pivots. Yeah, ICT kill zones and pivots, and it's great. I turn off lunch because I don't really care about lunch, but all the other ones are on. So basically, right, what do we see here? Well, we see a few things, okay? We see that on the NASDAQ, price is nowhere near this New York PM session. And initially, coming into market open, I wanted ES to take out this PM session high before dumping. But as you can see, it never really happened. It got close, but it never really happened. So with that being said, I saw this 15-minute fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap. Yes, it's been tapped into a couple of times. If you know how I trade now, I don't only trade the 4-hour PO3 anymore. The 4-hour PO3 is a great model to trade when you're starting off. It's also just a phenomenal model in general. You can catch really big moves, and it's really simple. But it wasn't popping up enough for my liking. So I back tested another model that I sort of learned, combined a bunch of things from a bunch of people, and back tested it for like 5 or 6 days. And so that's what I've been trading, and that's what I traded here. It has a pretty high win rate, it has like an 80% win rate, and it's been treating me nicely. So I've been trading both of these strategies. So what it is, right? We have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, and that we have been respecting, right? The big thing is like, are we respecting it? Yes. Yes, we've tapped into it multiple times, but we've been respecting it multiple times. And then obviously we have all that bearish SMT. So what I look for here, I'll now turn my executions on. So what I look for here is I look for any confluence for an entry. So for example, right here on this 2-minute, we have this 2-minute fair value gap that gets closed through, inversed, right? And the thing about this, right? The thing about this model is that it's extremely discretionary, right? So like the most important part about this model is your ability to find a draw on liquidity, right? Your draw on liquidity is the only thing that matters. Because this model has such a high win rate, the RR doesn't matter that much. So like this trade, for example, was like a 2.67 R. Now that's a great RR, but that's on the higher end of these types of setups, right? Normally, this sort of setup has like a 1 to 2 R. So basically, right, pretty discretionary. Took this, right, closed through this fair value gap, and immediately started dumping. So I waited for a retest. Didn't pull all the way up in here, but this was a level that I felt comfortable taking the trade. So with that being said, I entered at 275.25 or 795.25, 795.25. Right, so that was my entry. Stop loss went at this high. Well, why did it go at this high? Because this right here is a 2-minute BPR. Or, oh wait, no, it's not. It's not a BPR. But it went, oh, I guess it should have gone at this high. Well, I didn't put it at that high. Oh, this is a long position. Anyway. 75.25. Yeah, so my stop should have gone here. It went here. I guess that's just an error on my end. I put it there, and then my final TP was this low right here for a, well, it was not a 3.4R. It was a 79525 right there, 2.67R right here. And that was the trade. And then as you can see, that was the Judas swing, because immediately price started pushing to the upside after that. So that was my trade. Again, took like 550 on my funded futures, and then 650 on 3 of my top step, all 3 of my top step 150Ks. Yeah, that was my trade from today. I'm finally back in Miami, so I'm finally gonna start posting YouTube videos again. Just got done with so much traveling. I was in Argentina for like 2.5 weeks, and then I had to go to my cousin's wedding in Maine, but I am finally back. So I'm going to be posting trade recaps, I'm going to be posting videos, and I'm going to try to up my content a ton going forward. So that was a long travel, but it's safe to say that I am finally back, and I'm finally making YouTube videos again. If you learned anything from this trade recap, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos, like I just said. Leave a comment. I literally read all of my comments, so you can go ahead and leave a comment if you enjoyed. Also, if you need a funded account, go to Alpha Futures, use code Char at checkout. You'll get the best possible discount possible. Also great way to great firm to trade. They have the best rules right now. So with all this being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned, and if you took the same trade as me today, join the narrative, link in description. It's my free Discord. I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff on there. Might do a Q&A today, who knows. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, and peace out.